It's Miss Shaw.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mr. Burkle.
My name is Miss Bailey.
Hello, everybody. My name is Miss Middlebrook, but you guys can call me Miss M.
Hi, second graders. My name is Miss Hickman, and I am so excited to be your summer reading teacher.
Hey guys, it's me, Miss Nieves. Thank you for joining me today.
Hi, first graders. We're going to go on a quest without even leaving your home. How are we going to do that? I'll tell you. Books can take you anywhere you want to go. To a place where dinosaurs roam the earth. Or we could go to outer space. Check it out. We could visit some of the great leaders of the world. Or we could travel to anywhere in the world and see great landmarks and monuments. So I'm here to be your leader. That's not it. I'm here to be your captain. At your service. That's not right either. Travel agent? I got it. My name is Miss Bailey, and I'm here to be your adventure guide. So come on. Let's go. Before we get started on our reading adventure, we're going to need some gear. So let's gather our supplies so we can set ourselves up for success today. First thing we're going to need is a pencil. You're also going to need some paper. A good reader always takes notes on the skills they learn and the stories they read. It can be any type of paper. It can be paper in a notebook, paper with lines, paper with outlines, scrap paper, or small sticky paper. And last but not least, make sure you have your ELA packet handy. One of our learning targets is to ask and answer questions about a text or a story. Check out these words. I bet you first graders recognize these words. I see the 5 W's. What? Why? Where? Who? And when? But wait a minute. There's a word up here that does not begin with a W. Can you find the word that does not begin with a W? That's right. It's the word how. It starts with an H. But it's also a word that we can use to ask questions. Let's practice asking questions. Check out this picture. Did you know that pictures can tell a story too? I can use the 5 W's, including the word how, to ask questions about this picture. Like, what game is he playing? Where are his parents? How did he learn to kick so good? Now you try it. Can you think of a question about this picture using the word who? How about who is this boy? Wow, great job, guys. That was a great brain warm-up. Now, let's talk about how a good story is built. all stories have different parts. It's super important to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. All these parts are important because they help the reader understand the sequence of the story. Sequence is important. You go through lots of sequences. Let's think about when you brush your teeth. There's always something you do first. I pick up my toothbrush first. Next, I find my toothpaste. I put it on my toothbrush. I put my toothpaste back. I don't forget to put the cap on. These are important steps. Then I brush my teeth. That's an example of a good sequence. You want to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. All these different parts work together to make a great experience for the reader. But right now, I'm thinking about a great idea to write my own story. And then you guys can help me, and we can go through all the different parts together to make sure we have everything to make an amazing story. I know what to do. I have a friend named Scarlett. She just finished the first grade. She knows all about how to be a great writer. Let's video call her.
Yes! Hi!
Hi, Scarlett. It's so great to see you. I haven't seen you since spring break.
Hi, Miss Bailey.
So I'm here with my friends who are on a reading adventure with me, and we wanted some more information about how to write a great story. I want to write a story, and I want to make my own characters, and I want to make my own setting, and I want to make a problem and a solution, but I really want you to help me understand how to organize my story to make it fabulous. Can you help us out?
You can use a graphic organizer. The beginning of the story is important because it talks about the who or the what. The middle part of the story is important because it talks about the action. Sometimes we know what the problem is in the story. The end of the story is important because sometimes the character learns a lesson and that's the solution to the problem. So basically you learn the central message of the story. Character can be humans or objects or animals that can talk. The setting is where the story happens.
Wow, Scarlett really is an expert. She must have had a great teacher. I am going to go think about my characters and all the things that I need to do for this story. But while I'm thinking, I want you to check this story out. It's about a girl and her father. They work together to rescue animals. Aw. When you finish the story, don't forget to put your reading skills to the test. There's some activities in your packet that go along with this story. Go ahead and do those. They have all of the elements of the skills we've just reviewed. So you're going to do it easy peasy. Hi, first graders.
We're going to go on a quest without even leaving your home. How are we going to do that? I'll tell you. Books can take you anywhere you want to go. To a place where dinosaurs roam the earth. Or we could go to outer space. Check it out. We could visit some of the great leaders of the world. Or we could travel to anywhere in the world and see great landmarks and monuments. So I'm here to be your leader. That's not it. I'm here to be your captain at your service. That's not right either. Travel agent? I got it. My name is Miss Bailey, and I'm here to be your adventure guide. So come on, let's go.
Before we get started on our reading adventure, we're going to need some gear. So let's gather our supplies so we can set ourselves up for success today. First thing we're going to need is a pencil. You're also going to need some paper. A good reader always takes notes on the skills they learn and the stories they read. It can be any type of paper. It can be paper in a notebook, paper with lines, paper with outlines, scrap paper, or small sticky paper. And last but not least, make sure you have your ELA packet handy. Today we're going to practice retelling stories using key details from our text.
Hi, it's me, Miss Bailey again. I'm so glad you could join me today as we continue on our adventure. I'm also super excited because I get to share my book about Rosie the dog. But first, we're going to review some of our expert skills that we've been learning. You guys have been working so hard, so let's take a moment and review some of the things that we've gone over. Remember how a story has different parts and why that's so important. Every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Wait, what?
Every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. The beginning is who or what the story is about. This is important because this is when the characters get introduced and you find out the main setting of the story.
In the beginning of this story, we met the main character, Rosie. We also learned some key details about Rosie. We learned that she's happy and that she has black fur. And most importantly, we learned that Rosie's favorite thing to do is play with her toy goat.
Then we have the middle.
There is a lot going on in the middle of the story. The characters are usually involved in some kind of action or big event. Sometimes you learn the problem or the conflict of the story. In our story, the problem was that Rosie lost her favorite toy. We also learned some key details in the middle of the story. She had to go to sleep without her favorite toy.
Then the final chunk is the end. The end is important because it's exciting. Well, all the parts of a story are exciting, but the ending has the solution to the conflict. It's usually very exciting.
Towards the end of the story, we learn more key details, like Rosie makes a plan to find her toy goat. We also meet new characters like Mr. Turtle. We learn about new settings like the pond and the car and the park. Finally, at the very end, we see a solution to her problem. Back at her house, she finds her toy hiding underneath the chair.
I want you to reread the story in your packet. This will be the one about the girl and her father. They work together to rescue animals. That's so nice. They go on an adventure to help one animal in particular. When you finish reading, I want you to use all the skills that we have practiced, and I want you to put them to the test. Now it's your turn to be an expert reader. So show me what you got. On the very last page of your packet, you're going to have a comprehension activity. This is just a bunch of questions that are going to test your skills. And remember, if you're not sure about an answer to a question, you can always go back to the text. Go back to your story and reread. Now you know all the different parts of the story, the beginning, the middle, or the end, so you can use that information to find key details when you're answering your question. It makes it super easy to get all the questions right. I believe in you. You've been working hard, so good luck. Hi, first graders. My name is Miss Bailey, and I'm here to be your adventure guide. So come on, let's go.
Before we get started on our reading adventure, we're going to need some gear. So let's gather our supplies so we can set ourselves up for success today. First thing we're going to need is a pencil. You're also going to need some paper. A good reader always takes notes on the skills they learn and the stories they read. It can be any type of paper. It can be paper in a notebook, paper with lines, paper with outlines, scrap paper, or small sticky paper. And last but not least, make sure you have your ELA packet handy. Today, we're going to practice asking and answering questions about key details in a text.
Hi guys, welcome back. Here we are again to continue our journey. We've already learned lots of skills from last time. So let's go over those just so they're fresh in our brain. So we talked to my friend Scarlett. Remember when we video called her? She helped us understand why it's important for a story to have different parts. So today, I want to continue making my own story. I'm going to use a graphic organizer. This graphic organizer is going to help us organize our thoughts. Well, it's kind of going to help me organize my thoughts as I figured out who the main character was going to be. It's going to be about a dog named Rosie. So I'm going to pull out my graphic organizer and we're going to organize some thoughts. I remember Scarlett told us the beginning is about who and what. So it's a great place to introduce your characters. Check it out.
The beginning of the story is who and what. My main character is Rosie, and she's a dog. We also learned about the setting. It starts at Rosie's house. We've learned that in the middle of the story, we find out what happens to the characters. In this story, Rosie loses her favorite toy. She is sad, but then she makes a plan. She retraces all her steps in search for her lost toy. In the end of a story, sometimes characters learn a lesson or solve a problem. In this story, Rosie solved her problem. She found her lost toy. A good writer knows the right words to use to express how their characters feel. So I added, she's happy.
Now, for what I have been waiting for, I can't wait to show you my story. So let's check it out. Well, guys, here it is. I finally finished my book about Rosie. I added pictures and I put words to match my pictures. This will be our first read of this book. Remember, good readers always read a story more than once. The first time you read a book, we just want to get a good feel of the book. Figure out what it's about, who the characters are, what the setting is. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to do our first read. As I read, I want you to follow along with me. The title of this book is Rosie's Lost Toy by Elizabeth Bailey. That's me. This is Rosie. She has black fur and cute little floppy ears. Rosie is a very special dog and is always happy.
We just met our character. Who is it? That's right. The character is Rosie.
She loves to play and go on adventures, but her favorite thing in the world is her stuffed toy goat. Rosie loved her toy goat so much, she would sleep with it every night. One night, as Rosie prepared for bedtime, something horrible happened. Rosie's favorite toy goat was gone. She was so sad and worried. She tried to look for it, but it was no use. Rosie went to bed that night without her favorite goat.
Can you tell me what the problem in this story is? That's right. She lost her toy goat.
The next day, Rosie woke up determined to find her goat. She had a plan. Rosie planned on retracing her steps in search for her toy goat.
Before we read this next page, I want you to notice the setting here. In the beginning of the book, we saw Rosie's toy goat, and we learned a little about Rosie, but we didn't really see a clear setting. That happens sometimes in books. We know she had to go to bed without her toy goat, so we can assume that the setting in the beginning was her house.
The first place Rosie searched was the pond. She asked her friend, Mr. Turtle, if he had seen her favorite toy, but he had not seen it anywhere.
Hey, guys, there's a new setting here. Can you tell me what it is? That's right, it's the pond.
Hip hip hooray!
We also just met a new character. Can you tell me who that character is? You got it. It's Mr. Turtle.
Yes!
Next, she was on her way to the park. On the car ride there, she was hopeful that she might find her favorite toy. Rosie really loves to ride in the car.
Okay, friends, we have another setting. Can you tell me what it is? Right again. The new setting is in the car.
At the park, Rosie searched and searched, but her stuffed goat was nowhere to be found.
Wow, another setting. You tell me what it is. If you said the park, give yourself a high five.
Finally, Rosie was back home. She walked in the front door and she could not believe her eyes. It was her favorite toy goat hiding under the chair. At last, her search was over and she was so happy.
Guys, check it out. There's finally a solution to the problem in this story. What's the solution here? That's right. She found her toy goat hiding under the chair.
The end. I hope you liked that story as much as I enjoyed writing it. We'll read it again on some of our next episodes. But right now, I want you to take some time and think about the sequence of the story we just read. Use this graphic organizer from earlier. Write down what you remember from the beginning, the middle, and the end. Don't forget to include key details. Now it's your turn to put your expert skills to the test. I want you to check out this awesome story in your packet. This story is about a boy who loves seashells, like from the ocean, you know? He is in search of the perfect shell shop. A shell shop is somewhere that you can go and buy shells. Interesting. Well, he finds two different shell shops, but which one will he like the best? I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm gonna let you check it out. You figure out how this story ends. Then when you're done, I want you to put your expert reading skills to the test. So find the activity in your packet that goes along with this story, and you get to organize all the different parts of this story. Remember all the things we've been talking about. It will help you. So good luck. You're an expert reader now.